At that very moment, the Lord Ramskull in question was speeding towards Tarvin's forest camp. He was a huge mountain of a man. His great-grandsires had been the true giants of the north. He was not as big as them, but still several spans taller than any man, and more than twice as wide as most men stood. He wore heavy-plated armor across his shoulders and most of the rest of his body. An even heavier, flat-topped helmet, this adorned with the skull of a ram, topped his head. This much battered and gore-stained headgear with which he had often bashed his foes gave him his name. To this war equipment, and adding to his theme, his king, the Faceless One, had recently added more gear. His mighty blade-spoked chariot, carved from bones and pulled by eerie fire-snorting specters of rams long dead, was one of these gifts. Glowing green and filling his body with amazing power, the Ram Stone, hanging around his neck by a chain, was the other. His battle chariot easily crushed Tarvin's palisaded defenses, and Ramskull was soon upon the camp. A smile crossed his face as he saw not only Tarvin's foresters, but also the warriors from the Snake Clan at rest in the camp. Screams of terror and shouts for defense heralded his arrival. He bellowed back at them.
I'm pleased to see the Snake Clan has come out to be crushed alongside the foresters.
Sitting at rest by Tarvin's tent, an old man in brown robes stirred and leaped to his feet when Ramskull breached the walls. He snatched up a huge leather-bound book, the tome almost as large as the man, and rushed forwards to meet Ramskull. This was Eldor. They had crossed paths before.
Turn that pony cart around and be gone, you great oaf.
Eldor rapidly flipped through the book's pages and then thrust it forward so that its contents faced Ramskull. Inscribed on the old parchment was a strange and shifting engraving of a stone wall. Suddenly, this image seemed to spring from the pages and materialize in front of the charging ogre, the barrier magically extending to either horizon. In the past, these kinds of magical barriers had protected Tarvin in his camp. However, while his helmet could not breach such a spell, Ramskull now had magic of his own.
Your tricks will not work any longer, old man.
Ramskull fumbled at his chest and cut up the ramstone in one massive hand. The ancient artifact was tiny in his huge grasp, but it thrummed with magic. At a silent thought, it exploded with power, a huge spectral ram springing from its face and shattering the magic wall. With a laugh, Ramskull surged forward.
I wouldn't have thought No-Face would have trusted you with that. No matter, try this.
Again, Eldor flipped through the pages of the Living Book of Spells, this time coming to a page with a swirling blue etching of a great shaggy canine. He let loose the wolf from the book, and it flew at Ramskull's chariot, wrapped around one of the ghostly rams, and toppled the war car.
There, Hug, keep him busy. I need to get Tarvin.
At the wizard's command, a friendly-looking beast got to his feet. In most respects, he looked like a normal forest bear, but he was dressed in the armor of a man. He walked like a man, and spoke like one as well.
My pleasure.
The bear warrior trundled over to Ramskull. The evil giant was at this time driving one of his massive fists over and over again into the head of the ghostly wolf, attempting to free his chariot from its grasp. The wolf was apparently unharmed by this assault, but did look annoyed by it. Bear Hug politely tapped Ramskull on the shoulder, and the giant reared up to turn and face the bear. At this, Bear Hug caught the giant around his knotted neck and began squeezing and dragging Ramskull to the ground.
Next time, wait for an invitation before you visit.